Good morning. It's really a pleasure to be here in Orlando, especially from my home state of Connecticut, which is cold and rainy today, to be here for some nice sunshine via, the District of Columbia, where I am now ensconced in my new role as administrator of the SBA, which is something I'm incredibly proud of. I was very flattered when then President-elect Trump asked me to come to Trump Tower in New York City and talk to him about assuming this position. And I've known the president for several years, and in fact had done business with a couple of his entities before. So he knew my family, he knew my history, he knew my background. He knew that my husband and I had started the company, which is now World Wrestling Entertainment, really from scratch. Vince and I shared a desk in our basement when we first started our company. So when I talk to entrepreneurs about how you get started, what kind of conditions you do that with, how you make the best sometimes of the hand you're dealt in a deal, and how you grow, I can walk that walk and talk that talk with our entrepreneurs and our budding businesses because I've been there. And not relative to WWE, but another business that Vince and I had invested in, and it's a lesson that I tell many of my young entrepreneurs. I'll say, look, stick to what you know, have a passion for what it is that you want to build and grow, because we invested in a company we didn't know anything about, in an industry that we didn't know anything about, with people that we shouldn't have invested with, that wound up going bankrupt. We had to declare bankruptcy as a result of personally signing on some of the loans for that company. Our home was auctioned off. My car was repossessed in the driveway, and I was pregnant with our second child when all that happened. We were young, thank God, and we were able to bounce back, pretty quickly from that, just because of sheer determination and really not much other choice, if you will. But so I like to tell that story to so many entrepreneurs today, because I have had the wonderful privilege of living the American dream. And one of the things that I wanted to convey around the country throughout our SBA offices and to those startups or those businesses that are already ongoing that want to scale and want to grow is that entrepreneurs take risks. You can get knocked down along the way, but when you can put in a lot of sweat equity, you have that hope for what you're doing, a passion and a commitment to what you're doing, often you can overcome incredible odds. And I'm able to say that. WWE is now a global brand. It is seen in over 800 countries and translated in about 25 languages. And just the beginning of this month, April 2nd, WWE, my former company, I guess I'll always it's right still in my heart. My former company, WWE, had WrestleMania at the former Citrus Bowl, set an attendance record of over 75,000 people, and was seen worldwide by over an audience of 2 million. So from starting at a desk in our basement to now having a global brand and a company that is traded on the New York Stock Exchange, the president actually wanted me to be able to talk about that experience and to share that knowledge and that expertise throughout SBA. President Trump fully understands the value of small businesses. He understands it is the backbone of the economy of our country. It is the engine of the economy of our country. And his commitment to small businesses has already been obvious, that he's convened many business roundtables, large businesses, medium-sized businesses, small businesses. I've had the privilege of being at a couple, and we're having one today here in Orlando. He really does want to communicate his commitment to growing our economy and helping entrepreneurs create jobs, because as we all know, government does not create any jobs. At SBA, I'm not going to create one single job, except that hopefully through the mentoring programs that we have, the access to capital, the opportunity to show many of our entrepreneurs how to take advantage of government contracts, that those jobs can be created. And we know that once a business is open and creating jobs, it supports other businesses and more jobs are created. So it is clearly part of our goal at SBA to do that around the country. There are 68 district offices. One is here in Orlando. It's going to be my goal to visit each one of those district offices sometime during my tenure. I'm hoping sooner rather than later. I'm looking forward to June, when we are having all of the district directors and their deputies come to Washington. We're going to sit for a leadership conference. And doesn't that word sound boring? We're going to come to a leadership conference. Boy, but it's not going to be boring. It's going to be dynamic. We're going to have everyone who's going to come. We're going to talk about how can SBA continue to be even a greater influence in our communities. And it's so special for me today to be here in our Hispanic community to host our Hispanic roundtable of business leaders. I think we're going to have about 12 to 15. I'm going to look forward to your questions, to what you think is working for you, where you would like to have greater outreach. So this is an opportunity for us to be interactive. You know, our Hispanic businesses are the fastest growing segment of business development in our country. And that really does say a lot for the entrepreneurial spirit. And I'm really happy that the confidence and enthusiasm, again, for business creation is alive and well in our country. It's the highest it's been in decades. And the optimism that the new administration has created is just, fantastic. Just a couple of points for you. In 2016, the SBA made over 5,500 loans to Hispanic borrowers in the 7A loan program for about $1.4 billion. And the 504, which is plant, property, and equipment, and sometimes refinancing, we made over 462 loans for about $287 million. So that's a wonderful thing for me to be able to talk about. Now, we're not making the loans exactly. We're guaranteeing the loans from different lenders. We have great resource partners through our SBDC. I think one of their offices is right here in this facility. We have SCORE. We have our women's business centers, because I have found that not only do entrepreneurs need access to capital, but the other things we focus on at SBA is counseling and also access, to contracts, and then accountability. How are we measuring our outcomes? It's easy to measure output, but there are a couple of things that I am stressing as the administrator, and that is I want the SBA to function efficiently and effectively, and I want us to be able to measure outcomes, not output. We all know that we can do a lot of things, we can do a lot of outreach, but are we really, really being effective in that outreach? So that is my commitment to our directors at SBA, our district directors, that I want to provide them with all of the tools, but I am going to charge them with the accountability of measuring those outcomes. Because through all of the programs that we have, it doesn't do us much good how great the programs are in theory if in implementation they are not working. So I'm incredibly pleased to be here today to greet all of you and to just say I'm happy to be welcomed with such open arms here at the center. Thank you very much. This is my second time touring this wonderful facility. I came after I had been nominated, but before I was confirmed. So I said, wow, the National Entrepreneurial Center, that'd be a great place to go. And I knew there was some SBA offices here. So it was great. I enjoy it. I hope all of you are taking advantage of the center. I know many of you are probably here quite often. But I'm really pleased to be able to be here today. And I've actually met with Jerry Ross, who's the CEO, and my office is in Washington. So this commitment to jobs, this commitment to SBA, this commitment to the Hispanic business community and to all entrepreneurs nationwide is one that I personally feel a responsibility for, having been tapped by the president. But President Trump is the one who is leading the way. He is the one reducing regulation. He is the one that is going to be submitting his tax reform policy because he gets it. And I am happy and pleased to be part of the administration, which I believe is going to continue job growth, over 500,000 already in 2017. So I'm going to be working very hard with the President and his administration, and we look forward to being able to be in your communities and helping you in as many ways as we can. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be here this morning, and I appreciate very much, Frank, thank you for letting me have the podium and address this group, and the Chamber of Commerce that does so much in the community and works with our corporate partners here as well. So thank you so very much, and continued good luck.
It's great to have people from Washington here locally listening to what our small businesses are needing and saying, and so we are fully in support of everything that's happening right now from the Small Business Administration.
Thank you very much.
You bet.